Hello, Facebook land. Hello. 30-day Unleash the Dragon challenge. I hope that you can hear me. I've got my mic on. It's not acting as a Bic Razor this time, so the sound quality should be good. And if you can just give me, if you're hearing this and seeing this, and if you can give me a couple of thumbs up and let me know that the sound quality is okay. I've got a wave, I've got a sound quality is okay. And some, let's see, there we go. Looks like everything's okay sound quality wise. Awesome. And thank you again so very much for being here. And I can make out, yeah, thumbs up, good. Okay, so sound quality is working out all right. Thank you so much, everybody. So welcome to our second day. And we left last class, we started off with BOA. And I hope that you had a really nice time practicing the soft, fluid movement and the airy quality of the BOA move on your own. And I hope that when you did it, you had a really nice sense of relaxation and letting tension drop. That's just so important during regular times, and all the more important during these stressful time periods like with the COVID and the shelter in place. I also left an announcement and a guide for an additional homework, and it had to do with reviewing your day from the point of view of the BOA. So remembering your day from the point of view of your own empathy. So when during the day did you exercise empathy? What was the experience like? Where in your body did you feel it? When in your day was your empathy like off, and it could have been on and perhaps would have been, useful? And just notice that. What did that feel like in your body? In your body, in your breathing, and in your mental attitude. And all you do is notice it. Don't try and change anything. You just ask the question. So that was the homework for the BOA, or the deeper delving exercise for BOA. And I hope that you, if you haven't already given it a try, go for it. And check it out. And today we're going to be getting into our second animal, and it is the Black Panther. And we're going to do our sandwich, so I'll do the bow with you. And then we're going to do an alignment exercise for an area of the body that is very important for the panther, the feet. So we're going to get on the ground a little bit. We're going to take off our shoes and socks, and we'll do a little bit of an exercise that helps the alignment of the feet. Working with the feet, of course, is very important. It provides the foundation for all for your whole posture. It's the foundation of your posture. So everything cascades up, if you will, from the feet. So we'll do that, and then we'll layer the sandwich. We'll we'll top off the sandwich, and do the panther bow again to feel the difference. And then later tonight, I'll post up some other exercises about the Black Panther. I'm seeing some comments. I'm just going to check these comments and make sure everything's okay. Regards sound. Everything's thumbs up, it looks like. Great. Awesome. Sound is better now. Thank you for letting me know. Awesome. Great. So happy to hear that. Okay. So let's get into Black Panther. Black Panther's a fantastic animal. It's fun, it's raucous, it's jubilant, it's ecstatic. It revels in joie de vivre. I gotta be careful. As I get excited, my mic comes closer to my 5 o'clock shadow. Okay. There we go. That's probably better. Okay. So what is Panther? So Black Panther represents instinct, and it represents the tendons and ligaments of the body. So where BOA was the breath, the Black Panther is the tendons and ligaments. Where BOA's movement quality was soft and billowy and floating, Panther resides in sensuality. So it's the tendons and ligaments. It's the sensuality that you feel as viscous tissues glide along each other. If you're doing the panther bow and it's feeling exquisite and delicious, you're doing it right. It's that simple. All right. So let's do the motion. We'll just cultivate a little bit of the feeling, and then maybe we'll do the alignment exercise, maybe another little warm-up exercise somewhere in there, and then do the bow again just to feel it out. All right, so to do the bow, the way that it starts, first of all, you find your inner Neanderthal. So you kind of feel like caveman, all right? And it's that party, it's that animal side of you that responds to emergencies. I'm not like this myself, but the party animal in you, for some people that really jives well, or for other people who are real strong athletes, that part of you that like lights up in the middle of a really athletic a moment, that part. So get in touch with that and feel like your limbs are heavy and the tissues of your body are just sodden with your own blood and your own vitality. And the posture, you're slightly bent in the knees. You're looking at the world from underneath the brows of the eye. So your chin is back and you're into your spine, and your spine is flat, and you're bouncing a little bit in your knees. Okay? And so, from there, as you exhale, you drop down. And again, just like the boa, as above, so below, only bend the knees, only contract the chest as much as you bend the knees. The idea is that if somebody put pressure on your shoulders and they dribbled you, and pushed down, they'd be dribbling you like a ball, right? So if I'm like this, I'm acting like a naturally loaded spring, right? Somebody puts their hands on my shoulder, and they push down, I just bounce off of my own knees. So you have that kind of quality. So you curl down, and you're going to start to inhale. And as you start to inhale, you're going to straighten the knees, turn the feet out, and you're going to curl up the spine, stacking one vertebra on top of the other, and you're bringing the hands in front of you. And the pinkies are in front of your body. If you're into Chinese medicine and meridians, it's running the meridians up at the front of the body, the conception vessel. So your pinkies are in front of that midline of the body. As you inhale, the hands come up. Keep dropping in the shoulders. And we'll get to the shoulders later during the challenge. But for now, just keep relaxing them. When you think about your shoulders, just check to see if there's tension and drop them. And bring the hands up. Turn the palms down, turn the feet in. And now it's kind of like you're pressing, a beach ball underneath the surface of water in a pool. You're pressing down, okay, as you exhale. And you turn the feet open, turn the palms forward, and curl up. As you inhale, turn the palms down, turn the feet in, relax the shoulders, drop, pressing the beach ball down. And you don't want to be doing like a bench press down. It's kind of like you're like on the rim of a pool and you're pushing yourself up onto the rim of the pool. You're engaging your lats. So you're up and you exhale, your feet are turned in, your palms turn down, and you press down. So you're lifting your body up on top of the pool rim while you bend your knees and sink deeper. And one more time, breathing in deep. Up and exhale, drop down. Okay? And then when we finish the bow, we normally do triangles. So you take your hands, you make a triangular shape, and you breathe into the groin area. And then you fill up with breath. As you exhale, you flip the triangle up. And you're pointing at your belly button, the center of your physical power. So this is the signature triangles for the panther. So that's the physical mechanics of the bow. And it's not complicated. What gives it power and meaning is what you're focusing on while you're doing the bow. While you're doing the bow, again, you're getting in touch and you're cultivating, you're amplifying the parts of yourself that are instinctive, the parts of yourself that are subconscious, so just below the surface of your conscious mind. So this, there's a lot we can say about that area, but your things like, well, your ability to sort of like read symbolism really quickly, or like how you feel when you see a flag, that kind of impactful symbolism, where that registers is the, you can think of as the subconscious. There's a lot more that I could say as a cognitive psychologist, but that's like a whole different set of lectures. But we're talking about things that resonate with your tribe, symbols, images that make you feel like that speak to your identity and your membership in a particular kind of group. That kind of quality. That's a big part of what the subconscious is about. And it's all the automatic assumptions about yourself. All right? So you can think of the subconscious as doing that, as being that. If you think about yourself and you like bring to consciousness a fact about yourself, now you're in consciousness. That's tiger, different animal. But all that information is always there. And where it's stored, where it resides, we think of as the subconscious. So you're saying hello to all of these automatic thoughts and memories and feelings and attitudes that you know are stored, and you can reach back and pull them out when you need to. But right now they're just stored. So you're tapping into that. So instinct, the subconscious, and with instinct, sensuality. So sensuality is an important element to Panther. Sometimes it's sensuality like eating a delicious chocolate cheese cake. Sometimes it's sensuality when you're with a significant other. And when it comes to practice of movement, it's the sensuality, it's when you do a movement in such a way that it gives you more power, it feels good to do, as opposed to when you do a motion and it's like, this is a really big strain and uncomfortable, as opposed to that. So it's sensuality as a kind of intelligence. And it's your body's form of intelligence. So your analytical mind, really great at knowing rules. Your temporal lobes, really great at understanding words and patterns. Your body, really brilliant at figuring out how to best make a move efficient and powerful. And when our moves are efficient and powerful, they feel so good. Welcome to Panther. And I'm hoping that you can see how you can take this into your own art, whether it's Aikido, Sema, Judo, Bagua, or any other kind of Kung Fu, Wing Chun, and so on, and yoga or dance. So I hope that you can sort of apply these principles to your art. So while you're doing the bow, you take a moment and you think about when you had moments in your life where you felt really attuned instinctively. Right now, for me, whenever I start my Panther bows, for me, I click into being in nature. Like when you're in nature, you tune into the environment. Your senses turn on. You want that, right? I'm doing this deep voice a lot. Anyway, so you turn on into your instinct. You check in with the subconscious. Where's your tribe? Where's your connection? Sorry, just a little battery. Uh-oh. Something's not right. Okay, well, we'll see how long this goes. So let's do this. I wonder why the battery's not working. Okay. So we'll do the bow, and as we do the bow, check in with your instinct and check in with your subconscious and your sense of sensuality. Make the bow feel as good as you can. Ready? And breathing in. Keep relaxing. Do the moves. Have a little bit of sinewy tension, but not so much tension that it feels like a strain. And inhaling. One more time. Okay, good. And don't worry about the triangles right now. So the panther represents the tendons and ligaments, and you do the bow focusing on the tendons and ligaments. So how can you do that? One of the simplest ways that you can focus on the tendons and ligaments is to think of all of the inside yin skin parts of your joints. And what you want to do is make the joints as long and as deep as you can. So if this is my, the flat of my palm, and I want to get the tendons of my palm toned, I make my hand as long as I can and then as deep as I can. The inside of the elbow, I make it as long as I can and then as deep as I can. And so that gets the tone going. That gets the tendons and ligaments going. Armpits, as I move my arms up and down, I keep the pits of my arm as deep as I can. We'll talk about the torso later, but for now, the grooves, the inguinal grooves, you make those grooves as deep as you can, the knees, and then the soles of the feet. There's more that you could do, but this is a really great start. So let's do the bow again. And as you do that, you want to feel like you're keeping all of those joints, the cups of the joints, as long and as deep as you can throughout the whole bow. Right? And exhaling. You can also imagine like you've got TheraBands, those big rubber bands, and you're pulling on them and pulling them down as you're moving. So there's this like rubber band quality in your body. So deepen the cups and pull on some rubber bands. And one more time. And you're saying hello to the subconscious, to your instinct. You're letting your inner caveman or cavewoman out for a stroll.
Delicious.
All right, good. It should be a party. Good. And breathing in, triangle at the groin. Flip the triangle at your physical body, at your Manipura, your Dantian. And when I finish doing that, I kind of settle down. I feel my tendons and ligaments and my fascia kind of like settle down. Okay. So that's the bow for the Black Panther. And what we're going to do next is an alignment exercise for the feet. And I'm going to take 2 seconds here, and I just want to check if there's something I can do with my battery power. Please excuse me. That's working. All right. Well, I guess this will be as good as it gets for today. All right. Okay. Great, super. Okay, awesome. Let me just check the scroll feed here. Hello, Panther. Yes, indeed. Great, excellent. I'm glad everybody can hear. Everything's going fine. Awesome. Okay, so let's do an exercise for the feet. So we're going to drop on down to the floor. We're going to be touching our feet. So if you have some issues, with like touching your own feet, then, just watch. But this is going to be a really great exercise, especially for dancers, for yogis, martial artists of all kinds, athletes of all kinds. Yes, I'm taking off my pants because, it's Qianlong. And it's Panther. So I've got shorts on here so you can see better. Let's see if I got this right. I'm going to be a little bit far from the screen here. Maybe just tad down. There we go. That's probably a bit better. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is an exercise for the feet. And what you're going to do is have just one leg in front of you. And you're going to take a finger and you're going to bring it to the top of your knee joint. And I hope you can see this on the screen. It's a bit difficult for me to see at this distance. But what I'm doing is I'm running my finger down the edge of my shin bone to the space between the big toe and the second toe. I'm just running the line. And what I'm doing is I'm teaching my body, my proprioceptive system, that this is the line that I want the pressure from my knee to my foot to follow. And so what you're doing is you're going from the joint of the knee, obviously, down to the shin bones, and you're going to one of the major intersection areas of your foot bones and how they integrate with the fascia and the tendons and ligaments of the bones of the foot. So you're running the line from the joint, from the top of the knee down to the space between the big toe and the second toe. And let's go now to the second space, the space between the second toe and the third toe. We'll do a couple of runs, like a ski slope. Good. Good. Couple of runs. Good. And then the next space between the toes, you're going to run between the third toe and the fourth toe, and you're still following the same kind of line. And then around the ankle area, you start to swerve to the next space. There you go, down the shin bone. Good. And then next is the space between the fourth toe and the pinky toe. Good. Good. Oops, Daisy. Missed my own toe. There we go. And then next, but wait, there's more. All four fingers to all four spaces. Like the Mississippi hitting the Delta. Just spread out, fan out. And what you're doing while you're doing this is you're reaffirming the lines that force travels down the leg. When you get around to the foot area, what you're also doing is you're kind of mapping over the major ligaments and tendons that help stabilize, especially the dorsal part of the foot. So you're reaffirming the fascia, the connective tissue of your body. You're reaffirming that fascial tissue, which is what contains all of a great majority of the sensory neurons that give you the sensation of motion and balance. So that's what you're stimulating. Okay, good. So you've done that. Now we're going to do a little bit of an abridged form. What you're going to do is you're going to play your foot like a violin a little bit here. You're going to take, right. So you're going to take your index finger and you're going to rub it through the space between your big toe and your second toe. So it's kind of like you're playing the violin. Say hello to your foot. So in our Aikido classes here at the Aikido of Santa Cruz, most of our classes, every one of our classes starts off with a warm-up where we spend time massaging our feet. And it's just a great way to start off a class or your day for that matter. And now next what I'm doing is I'm sort of sawing. I'm taking the blade edge of my hand, my pinky side, and I'm running it through that space between the first toe and the second toe. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the next space. I take my index finger and you go through. And what you're doing is you're just coaxing the tissue a little bit. You're giving it a bit of a massage. You're helping fibers not adhere as much. And then with the pinky edge of the hand, same thing, saw through the space. You don't have to press down hard. Whatever works and feels comfortable for you. And just notice. It doesn't take much at all. A few little strokes, a little check in, and it works wonders. Okay, next space with your index finger. And then with the blade edge of the hand all the way through. And again, you don't have to push down hard. just like as if you're massaging with the same kind of intensity. All right, you want it to feel good. Good, and then finally the last space, index finger again. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good. And then with the pinky edge of the hand. Good stuff. Okay, great. And then bring your foot, if you can, just bring your foot up to you. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your 4 fingers from your opposite hand and thread them through the toes. And you don't press too hard, just do what's comfortable. But again, what you're doing is you're creating a sensation of the space between the toes. You're increasing the sensation of the space between them. That's what your proprioceptive system focuses on. It doesn't really focus on the joints themselves. It focuses on the space between joints. That's what your brain power dedicates its power to, is finding differences in the spaces between the joints. So you're highlighting the space between the joints. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your foot and you're going to twist it gently, just like, to the side a little bit and to the outside. A little bit to the inside, a little bit to the outside. A little bit to the inside, a little bit to the outside. Okay? Okay. And then just rest your foot. And if you just place both feet in front of you after having done that, you should feel one foot quite differently from the other. One foot should feel quite different from the other. And just notice the difference. So for me, it feels expanded, it feels warmer, it feels a little bit flatter. This feels a bit more dense, and more of my focus is up in here in this area. So it can be fun to get up and do the bow right now and compare the difference between both feet. That could be cool. But I'd like to give you a more full body experience. So we'll do the other foot as well. So you start off with the top of the knee, and you run down the ridge of the shin bone to the space between the big toe and second toe. Good. And then to the second space. So as we're doing this, I'll talk a little bit about why the feet are important to Panther. And let's go on to the third space. So the Panther represents instinct, it represents the subconscious. And as such, it represents the roots of things. So in the same way that the subconscious is kind of like the root system of the conscious mind, so too are the feet kind of like part of the root system of the body, metaphorically, symbolically, in terms of imagery. And next space, so from the shin bone to the fourth space between the fourth toe and the pinky toe. And the other reason why the feet are kind of like the root system of the body, the same way the subconscious is like the root system for your conscious mind. And in addition to that, what part of your body is always touching the earth? Your feet, the ground. The feet are like a symbol of humility because they are in contact with everything. So that's why being barefoot is a sign of humility or modesty. And then with all 4 fingers down, because they're always in contact with every aspect of life. And it's the same thing with Panther. The thing about instinct is that it's in contact with all of the facets of life. Like you're attuned to your surroundings in incredible minute, detail. And Right, so the feet are kind of like a symbol for the panther's state of mind. Okay, good. So that's all 4 gaps. And then let's run the space between the toes here. So index finger, it doesn't really matter which way you do it, but here you go. So index finger. Another reason why the feet are really important is because their design is heavily reliant on fascia and connective tissue. So now with the pinky edge, feet are incredibly important. What your toes do, the reason why you have toes is that they dissipate impact, when you land on the floor. Next gap. And their ability to dissipate the force is because of the tendons and ligaments and how they fan out across the whole length of your foot. So basically, on the end of your ankle, you've basically got trampolines, and that's by virtue of thanks to the tendons and ligaments. And third gap between your third toe and fourth toe, index finger going back and forth like you're moving the bow of a violin. And then the pinky edge. And then the last gap between your pinky toe and your fourth toe. Let's do this. Using your index finger. Good. And then the blade edge of the hand going through your toes, going through the space between your pinky toe and your fourth toe. Good. And then all 4 fingers through all 4 spaces. And just twist the foot, bevel and sickle. So rotate one direction, rotate towards the inside of the body, towards the outside. Good. Okay, good. All right. And so from there, come on up. And let's just change the camera angle. A bit too high, or not? Yeah, it looks about maybe a bit lower. Bear with me, please. Okay, that's a bit better. Hopefully that works for you. So now take a moment as you get up. How do you feel now compared to how you felt before? So for myself, I kind of just feel like I have really 2 very large and light manholes on the ends of my ankles, and it's like kind of like walking around with flippers. But I also feel like I have much more stability and balance. It's like much harder for me to fall on one side, front or back. I just have this really stable base. And you'll have a slightly different experience. And all you need to do is notice your experience. And I hope that you have some a sense of that increase in balance. And you can do that foot exercise anytime. It's just it's really soothing. It's luxurious in a way, just taking care of your own feet and massaging them. It feels good. I see the heart thing floating. Thank you. Great. Now, we're going to do the panther bow again one more time and feel how your body feels with such a wider base, or at least with a different feeling base. Okay? And let's do 3 bows, and then we'll add a bit more in a bit. Ready? Yeah. Just feel the difference. And inhale, hands come up. Hands go down as you exhale. One more time. Hands go down as you exhale. Good. Just feel what that feels like. All right. So you probably noticed that with increased awareness in your feet, as you were doing the bow, there were probably other areas of your body that you hadn't worked out that felt more relaxed, more open. And that's because the tendons and ligaments wrap around and interconnect one area of the body with the other. And so when you pull on one part of that tissue, it affects another part of the tissue in the body suit of your connective tissue. And so you work on your feet a little bit, and all of a sudden your upper back is a bit freer. So if you notice that, it's not in your imagination. We're going to do the bow one more time, and again focusing on the sensuality and the enjoyment of the motion. And I want to bring another element in. Each of these animals connects to the earth. As you do the bows, you want to connect to different parts of the natural world. I didn't talk about it much yesterday, but with boa, what you connect to is the wind. So the boa is the breath, and the way it moves, it's as if it's being supported by gusts of wind or currents of wind. And with the panther, you focus, like the subconscious, on the geological layer that's below the surface, just below the crust, or the rich, loamy layer of soil that is great for farming and cultivation. Like the black panther, it represents the subconscious, so it relates to like areas like swampland, like mucky, murky. It's the panther is not a clean animal, right? So and neither is the subconscious. And so it represents all of those nooks and crannies and caves and tunnels of our geography in the same way that it represents the nooks, crannies, and tunnels of the psyche. So you try to dig deep. You try to sink down into the earth, and you're drawing up the dank and the musty and the moist, the wetness of life. So that's what the panther revels in, and that's the kind of energy it draws in. When you're doing the bow, you imagine that you're drawing in energy through the tendons and the ligaments, as though they're straws, and you're just breathing through the straws. So let's try it again. We're going to feel like we're breathing in. Take a moment and just feel like you're breathing energy in through the tendons and ligaments, through the tips of your fingers. You've got like straws out through the toes of your feet. You've got straws down through the soles of your feet and out through the palms of your hands. You have like big straws or funnels, and you're drawing in energy from the dark, deep places of the earth. And you inhale into your tendons and ligaments, and you exhale out from your tendons and ligaments. Just a few of these like this, and then we'll do it with the motion. Breathing in deep, drawing in energy through the tendons and ligaments, exhaling out through the tendons and ligaments. So it's not muscles, it's not forced, it's resilient. It's like thousands of little trampoline-like threads. Good. Good. Okay, now let's do it with the motion. So as you do the motion, you feel like you're drawing energy up through the soles of the feet, as though you have root systems going down deep into the earth. Root systems like a banyan tree coming out of your fingertips. And you're drawing up through those root systems energy that feeds your subconscious, your instinct, and your sensuality. And breathing in. And exhaling, pressing energy out from the tendons and ligaments back into the earth. Breathing in. And exhaling, pressing out. One more time. Exhale, press out. Good. And triangle, bring the triangle up. Inhale. And what you're doing is you're filling up the lower area of your pelvis, the gonads, the tip of the tailbone with energy. They fill up with energy. So imagine it's like, like a glass of water that's being filled up from the bottom. The water level is gurgling up. And then when it gets filled up on the inhale, you turn the legs in, you flip the triangle, and then that water gets pressed up into your belly button area as you exhale. And it fills up your belly button area, your dantian. And then relax. And just feel what your body feels like. You check in with your tendons and ligaments. Where are those big rubber bands that span across your joints? Where are the big rubber bands that connect your muscles to your bones? So that's the Black Panther bow. And so I just want to hit one more point here. The reason the visualization of the elements of the earth and of nature are really important in Qianlong, and they're really important in every art. Every art has a different way of approaching natural world elements and textures. And the idea is that when you're low and flagging, you drop, you center yourself, you check in with your breath, and you imagine like you're drawing energy from those aspects of the earth, and you allow them to nourish you. And after a while, that kind of practice begins to develop a momentum of its own. I can't tell you how many times I've had experiences where where by doing the practice and attuning myself, I've been able to move through environments where other people had troubles. Or I would not get as tired as other people just because it seemed like I was just drawing in support from the environment. It's subtle, but there's something there. And it's not just like, cardiovascular or fitness and all that jazz. There's something else there. And part of why I wanted to highlight that is because I think that's it's a very important aspect of why I'm doing this, which is to give people a sense of of a connection between themselves and the complex world around us. For the coming challenges that we will be facing, we're not going to be able to think our way through it entirely all the time. There are going to be moments where we need to sort of just check in and ask ourselves, what feels right? I know there's, of course, inform yourself with science and, learn as much as you can analytically, but you also, in times of challenge, you also have to check in with your gut. Uninformed, sincere, well-intentioned gut, but you still have to check in with the complexity of who you are. And you can't always access that through, simple linear thinking. And so doing the bows, moving your body, breathing, doing the visualizations teaches you and trains you, it attunes you to being able to fluidly move with things that are naturally complex, but, they're not really fundamentally. The breathing and the movement practice helps prepare you to be able to handle a bigger world and a world that we want to live in. So that being said, we'll end here. And I'll post up later tonight some exercises that you can do for the Black Panther in reviewing your day. And in the future, I'm hoping to introduce some dream practices I do some dream interpretation. My wife, however, has her PhD from Berkeley in dream interpretation. She's written 3 books on it, and she has maybe likely volunteered to she's volunteered to, if people have dreams that they would like interpreted, write them down, and she'll be able to take a look at them and give you an interpretation. Dream interpretation is an important part of the Panther practice. It's a direct bridge over to the symbolic language of your own subconscious. So I'll mention that and talk about that in the announcements later on, and I'll post some notes and so on. All right. Thank you so much. This has been a great pleasure and an honor, and I hope that you're safe, you're healthy, you're well, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow around the same time, same channel.